Chapter 1. The Creator and the Cosmic Blueprint. Throughout history, humanity has sought to understand the nature of the universe and its place in it. From the earliest stories told around fires to the scriptures of religious traditions, there has always been a yearning to connect with something greater. We call it God, the Creator, the Source, or the Infinite. These words point to a truth that goes beyond names or definitions, that all of existence, from the stars in the sky to the life within you, flows from a single source of creation. The Creator as more than we've imagined for generations. Many have pictured God as a distant and judgmental figure, a being beyond the clouds who watches from afar, ready to punish mistakes or reward obedience. This fear-based view of the Creator has shaped much of human history, creating systems of control and division. But what if this idea is incomplete? What if we've misunderstood? The true Creator, the infinite Creator, is not a vengeful deity ruling from afar, but the source of unconditional love, unity, and life itself. Everything that exists is a part of this Creator. The stars, the galaxies, the dimensions we cannot see, and every human being, all are connected through the Creator's essence. You are not separated from this source. You were born from it, and its presence flows through you right now. Many spiritual teachings and ancient texts, whether religious scriptures or modern metaphysical insights, point to the same truth. Everything is one. There is no separation. The belief in separation is an illusion created by fear, pain, and misunderstanding. Jesus himself pointed to this truth when he said, "I and the Father are one." John 10:30. He didn't mean that he alone was one with the Creator, but that oneness was the true nature of all existence. Christ came not to bring fear, but to awaken humanity to the reality of love, the Creator's boundless love for all. The law of oneness. This oneness is sometimes referred to in spiritual teachings as the law of one. Simply put, the law of one states that all beings, all things, and all dimensions are interconnected. Everything is part of one infinite loving source. When you look at another person, you're not simply seeing a separate being. You're seeing another unique expression of the Creator. The implications of this truth are profound. Division is an illusion. Whether by race, religion, nationality, or belief, the divisions we cling to are surface level. Beneath them, we are all spiritual beings made from the same essence. Love is the core reality. Fear, hatred, and judgment arise when we forget our connection to the Creator and each other. But when we embrace love, we realign to our natural state of being. You are divine. You may feel small or insignificant in the face of life's challenges, but the Creator dwells within you. You are a part of something infinite and eternal. The cosmic blueprint. The universe operates through harmony and balance. Just as a tree grows toward the light or the tides move with the rhythm of the moon, every being is designed to align with the natural flow of creation. Humanity, too, has a cosmic blueprint, a divine design created by the infinite Creator. This design is not just physical but spiritual, extending beyond the physical realm into higher dimensions of existence. Many spiritual teachings, including ancient scriptures and modern metaphysical revelations, speak of humanity's potential to live as beings of light and love, fully aligned with our divine nature. Some call this the 12-strand DNA template, symbolizing our original potential to operate across multiple dimensions of awareness. Whether literal or symbolic, this idea conveys a simple truth. We are more than we've been told. But humanity has forgotten this potential. Over time, wars, trauma, and distortion, whether spiritual or physical, have disconnected us from our cosmic blueprint. Today, most people see themselves as limited, broken, or destined to struggle. Yet the truth is this: you were made to live in wholeness, unity, and peace. The Creator's design is still within you, waiting to be remembered. Reflecting on the Creator's love. Take a moment to reflect. What would your life look like if you truly believed that you were an extension of the Creator? What if you accepted, without fear, that you are deeply loved, not for what you've done, but for simply existing? This is the heart of the message shared by great spiritual teachers throughout history. Christ himself said, "The kingdom of God is within you." Luke 17:21. It has always been there, waiting for you to remember. This book is not about giving you new rules to follow or new fears to face. It is about helping you reclaim a truth that has always been yours. You are connected to the Creator, and you are deeply loved. When you begin to embrace this truth, you'll discover the freedom to live beyond fear and into love. As we move through these chapters, you'll explore what it means to live in alignment with the Creator's cosmic blueprint, to embrace the law of one, and to release the fear-based misunderstandings we've been taught. You'll also discover how these truths connect to larger realities, about the universe, about higher beings, interdimensional or cosmic, and about the transformations happening here and now on Earth. This journey begins with one choice: moving from fear to love. Align with the truth that the Creator is not far from you. The Creator is within you, radiating love in every moment. Let go of fear, embrace love, and step into the freedom that has always been waiting for you. The parable of the hidden river. There was once a small desert village where the land was barren and water was scarce. Each day the villagers struggled under the hot sun, digging shallow wells to find a drink, only to find the wells dry again by morning. Over time, the villagers grew bitter, fearful, and tired. Some blamed each other for their struggles, while others gave up hope that life could ever be different. One day, a traveler came to the village. He watched the people toiling and quarreling, all while their crops and spirits withered. With compassion in his heart, he spoke to the villagers and said, "Why don't you drink from the great river?" The villagers were confused. "What river?" they asked. "We live in a dry land. There is no river here." Smiling, the traveler knelt in the sand. He ran his hand across the ground and said, "The river is hidden just beneath the surface. It is always flowing, but you must dig deeper to find it." Skeptical, the villagers laughed, too exhausted to believe him. But one boy, curious and desperate to hope, took up his shovel and began to dig where the traveler had shown him. With every strike of the shovel, others mocked him, telling him he was wasting his time. But the boy didn't stop. He dug deeper and deeper until finally, a cool, shimmering stream burst forth from the ground. The water rushed out, pooling and overflowing, quenching the land around it. The parched earth drank deeply, and the people stared in awe. The traveler smiled and said, "This river has always been here, beneath your feet. It is the same river that nourished your ancestors long ago. You only needed to look beyond the surface to find it." From that day forward, the villagers cared for the river, knowing it flowed not just beneath their village, but through all the land. They drank from its abundance, and instead of arguing and toiling alone, they worked together to deepen the wells for future generations. Reflection. This parable reflects our relationship with the Creator and the law of oneness. The river is like the infinite love and presence of the Creator, always flowing through us and nourishing all of life. But too often, we live on the surface, distracted by fear, separation, or struggle, forgetting that the source of peace and connection is always within us, just beneath the surface of our being. If you dig even a little, through prayer, reflection, forgiveness, or inner healing, you'll find the Creator's river flows freely. It belongs to no one, yet is shared by all. It is up to each of us to deepen that well within ourselves and share its abundance with others. Chapter 2. From Control to Connection. The Misconceptions of Religion. For as long as humanity has searched for meaning, religion has been a guide, a way to understand where we came from, why we are here, and where we are going. It gave countless generations a foundation for moral behavior, community, and connection to the divine. Yet for all the good that religion has offered, it has also, unintentionally or intentionally, created fear, division, and confusion. From prophets, priests, and scribes to modern-day preachers and institutions, the stories passed down through the ages have often been misunderstood, or, in some cases, distorted, to control people rather than liberate them. At its best, religion can point us back to the Creator. At its worst, it traps us in systems of fear, shame, and submission, not to God, but to human-made rules. If the Creator is love and oneness, then fear and separation cannot come from the Creator. They come from misunderstanding. The roots of fear-based religion. Throughout history, many religions have taught that the Creator is distant, angry, and demanding of obedience. For centuries, people have been taught that failure to live perfectly would result in punishment, whether in this life or the next. This fear-based teaching became a powerful tool, one that kept many in line, while also placing others in positions of spiritual authority, able to dictate what people should believe or how they should behave. One of the most dangerous results of fear-based religion is that it separates people from themselves, from each other, and from the Creator. If God is up there in heaven, far away from us, we lose touch with the knowledge that God actually dwells within us. If we are told we are born sinful, filthy, and unworthy, it becomes nearly impossible to believe we are deeply loved and honored by the Creator. This distortion, the belief that we must earn love or fear wrath, has been at the heart of much religious teaching. But these teachings often contradict the very message of freedom and love that Christ and other great spiritual figures came to share. Christ's true mission. Christ's teachings made a radical departure from the fear-based systems of his time. He often challenged the religious leaders who used rules and rituals to control people. He taught that the Creator's kingdom was not about outward shows of perfection or obedience to endless laws, but about the transformation of the heart. When asked what the greatest commandment was, Jesus answered simply, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And the second is, like it, you shall love your neighbor as yourself." On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Matthew 22:37-40. In these words, Christ did not focus on fear, judgment, or punishment. Instead, he pointed us toward the truth. The Creator's will is centered on love. Love for the Creator, love for others, and love for yourself. Rather than presenting God as distant and angry, Christ taught that the Creator was as close as a loving parent, using the metaphor of the Father to help his audience understand God's approachable nature. He told his followers, "The kingdom of God is within you." Luke 17:21. This was a revolutionary idea for its time, and still is today. What Christ offered was not a religion but a relationship. He invited humanity to see itself as deeply loved, already part of the Creator's infinite plan. His miracles demonstrated what happens when we embrace that oneness, healing, transformation, and a return to wholeness. Letting go of control. For many, the idea of letting go of traditional religious authority can feel terrifying. Without rules and rituals, how do you know you're doing it right? If you step outside the doctrines you've been taught, will you risk the Creator's wrath or rejection? The truth is, the Creator's love cannot be earned or lost. It simply is. You, as an expression of the Creator, are already part of that love. When you let go of human-made rules, what's left is the simplicity Christ demonstrated. Living in love, serving others, and listening to the quiet guidance of the Creator within. That doesn't mean anything goes. Love requires truth and alignment. But instead of looking outward to leaders or systems for approval, the path forward is an internal one. You are invited to look within, where the Creator's presence resides, and live in alignment with its gentle call toward love, unity, and compassion. The transition from fear to love. This journey from fear-based religion to divine connection is not always easy. Fear can be deeply ingrained, reinforced by years of teachings that warn of eternal punishment or rejection. The questions may surface. What if I get it wrong? What if stepping away means stepping into danger? It's important to pause and ask yourself, does fear align with the Creator you know in your heart? Fear divides, love unites. Fear incarcerates, love liberates. By their fruit, we know which teachings align with the Creator's will. When you begin to see the Creator as a source of infinite love, your relationship with yourself, the divine, and others naturally transforms. Instead of fear or shame driving your choices, love becomes your center. The journey isn't about perfection. It's about connection to God, to others, and to the truth. Parable: the shackled bird. A bird lived its whole life in a cage, bound by a chain tied to its leg. It could look through the bars and see the open sky, but believed the chain meant it would never be able to fly. One day, a stranger came along, gently unlocked the cage door, and broke the chain from the bird's leg. The bird, though free, remained perched in the cage. It looked at the open door and the bright sky beyond, but fear whispered, "What if you fall? What if you don't know how to fly?" It clung tightly to the perch, unable to trust its freedom. One day, as the bird looked out, it saw another bird soaring. It was not bound by a chain or bars. It simply flew on the wind. The caged bird felt something stir within its chest, a longing greater than its fear. Taking a deep breath, it shuffled toward the open door, spread its wings, and stepped into the unknown. The moment its wings stretched open, it realized it was made for the sky. The fear dissolved as the wind carried it higher and higher, where it belonged all along. The invitation to connection. Like the bird in the parable, many of us have been shackled by fear. Fear of freedom, fear of doing things differently. Fear of stepping outside of the cage religion may have built around God, but the Creator's love is not confined to any box, cage, or system. It calls you to step into the open sky of deep connection, where love, wholeness, and truth uplift you. This is not a dismissal of faith, but an invitation to deepen it. Religion may have been the cage that taught you about God, but now the door is open, and the chain is broken. The Creator desires for you to fly, not in fear, but in freedom. As we journey into the next chapter, we'll explore Earth's unique place in the cosmic blueprint and how humanity fits into the greater interconnected whole. For now, reflect on this. What would it feel like to let go of fear and simply step into the love and freedom that has always been waiting for you? End of Chapter 2. Chapter 3. Earth and our role in the galactic picture. Look up at the stars on a clear night, and you cannot help but feel a sense of awe. The vastness of the universe, the sheer number of stars, planets, and galaxies, is almost impossible to comprehend. And yet, despite our smallness in relation to it all, there's a voice deep within that whispers, "You belong to this." For thousands of years, humanity has gazed at the heavens and wondered about its place in the cosmos. Some have seen the stars as distant and unreachable, while others have felt an unshakable connection to something greater, something woven into the fabric of their own being. What if humanity's role in the universe is far more significant than we've been taught? What if, rather than being isolated in a random corner of space, Earth is part of a much larger divine design? The unique role of Earth. Many spiritual and metaphysical teachings suggest that Earth is not just another planet, but a spiritually significant place in the grand cosmos. In ancient texts, Earth is often described as a battleground of sorts, a place where free will is at the forefront, and where beings, human and otherwise, have come to experience, learn, and grow. In the Bible, Earth is described as made in the image of God. Genesis 1:27. This phrase is often understood literally, but what if being made in God's image speaks to something deeper? Humanity's capacity for love, creativity, spiritual growth, and free will mirrors the nature of the Creator itself. It suggests that humanity was designed with a cosmic purpose, to learn what it means to align with love while navigating a world that allows for both light and shadow. Metaphysical teachings, like those found in the Voyagers series or the Law of One, describe Earth as a powerful energy center in the universe, uniquely positioned within its dimensional structure. These teachings see humanity as more than physical beings. We are spiritual beings with the ability to ascend beyond our current limitations. Earth, then, is not only a school for the soul, but also a vital part of the Creator's larger design, one in which humanity has an important role to play. The Galactic Experiment. Children of mixed lineages. Many ancient traditions, including biblical accounts, suggest that humans are a mix of divine and earthly origins, a hybrid species of sorts. For example, the Genesis account of the sons of God taking human wives and producing the Nephilim, Genesis 6:1-4, points to the idea that higher dimensional beings, often thought of as angels or watchers, interacted with humanity. Other traditions, such as the Sumerian myths of the Anunnaki, also describe advanced beings influencing the development of early human civilizations. Metaphysical teachings expand on this idea, describing humanity as the result of a divine experiment. These teachings claim that higher dimensional beings, some benevolent and others self-serving, were involved in designing humanity with the potential to house and express the Creator's light. This is why humans are often referred to as children of the stars, or seeded beings. It may also explain why humanity's evolutionary story contains rapid leaps, suggesting unseen influences beyond mere chance. While these ideas can challenge traditional understandings of creation, they align beautifully with the concept of humanity as a unique and special creation, a bridge between dimensions, capable of operating in both physical and spiritual realms. The balance of free will. If humanity is so significant in the cosmic picture, why does Earth seem plagued by so much suffering, division, and chaos? The answer may lie in the Creator's greatest gift to humanity: free will. Free will sets humanity apart. It allows us to make choices, to create, to grow, and to align, or misalign, with the Creator's will. This capacity for free choice means that Earth is a place of great potential, both for love and for fear, for unity and for division. Just as we have the capacity to align with the Creator's infinite love, we also face the temptation to give in to selfishness, fear, and separation. Many spiritual teachings describe Earth as a learning ground where humans navigate this delicate balance. The decisions we make collectively shape the energy of the planet and its future. Are we moving toward alignment with love and the harmony of the greater cosmos? Or are we choosing paths of fear that separate us from our source? This balance, the constant dance between fear and love, is what makes Earth both challenging and beautiful. It's also why humanity's role in the galaxy is so important. By choosing love, we become a beacon for others, physical and interdimensional, showing that free will can align with the Creator's law of oneness. Cosmic powers at play. Understanding Earth's role in the galactic picture also requires acknowledging the forces that influence it. Just as light and love guide humanity, there are also forces that seek to distort, divide, and deter humanity from its divine blueprint. These forces are often called by many names: the adversary, fallen angels, or service to self-beings. Metaphysical teachings suggest that not all interdimensional beings act in humanity's best interest. Some, acting out of selfishness, have sought to manipulate humanity's free will, whether through fear-based religions, genetic tampering, or influencing structures of power. These beings, however, are not to be feared. They cannot override free will unless humanity allows it. Fear only feeds their influence. Instead, humanity is called to discern truth by observing the fruits of actions and teachings. As Christ himself said, "By their fruits you will know them." Matthew 7:16. Love, peace, and freedom align with the Creator. Fear, control, and division do not. Far from being victims of a cosmic conflict, humanity has the power, through its choices, to align with truth. Our role is to reclaim our divine nature, trust in the Creator's guidance, and shine as lights in the greater galactic picture. Earth's call to ascend. As humanity steps into this new era, many are awakening to the truth that Earth itself is undergoing a transformation. Scientific discoveries suggest the planet is a living, breathing organism, a system of energy and balance. Metaphysical teachings expand on this, describing Earth as a conscious being participating in its own spiritual evolution. This evolution, often called ascension, involves shifting from lower states of consciousness, separation, fear, and division, to higher states of love and unity. Humanity, as caretakers of Earth, has a vital role in this process. When we align with the Creator's love, healing our inner wounds and extending that healing outward, we help raise not only humanity's consciousness, but also the consciousness of Earth itself. This is where the galactic connection becomes clear. Humanity's choices ripple outward, influencing the greater whole. By choosing love, we align with the Creator's cosmic blueprint and contribute to the harmony of all creation. Parable, the mirror of stars. A child once stood beneath a night sky, looking up at the stars. "What are they?" the child asked their parent. "They are mirrors," the parent answered. "Each star reflects something within you." The child puzzled at this. "I don't understand. How can something so far away reflect something inside me?" The parent smiled. "You see them as far away because you have forgotten, but your soul remembers. The stars only seem distant because you live in a body that sees with the eyes. If you look with your heart, you will see that they are close." That night, the child had a dream of flying into the sky. The farther they soared, the more the stars began to look like one great light, beams of a single source shining in every direction. When the child awoke, they touched their chest and whispered, "I've seen the stars, and now I remember, they are inside me." The stars never changed, but the child's understanding did. The invitation. Humanity's role in the universe is far greater than we've been taught. You are not separate from the stars. You are a part of them. You are not distant from the Creator. Its love flows through you. The Earth, the Creator, and the greater cosmos are all connected, and your choices matter. End of Chapter 3. Chapter 4. Jesus, the Law of One, and the Path to Freedom. Throughout history, few figures have shaped humanity's understanding of the Creator more than Jesus Christ. His teachings have inspired billions, but they are often misunderstood or confined by human interpretations. For generations, institutions have built rigid walls around his message, focusing on rules, rituals, and fear of punishment. But when we set aside these filters and listen to what Jesus actually taught, a profound and universal truth emerges, a path of love, unity, and freedom. The heart of Christ's teachings. At its core, Christ's message is remarkably simple. Love your Creator. Love others as yourself. Recognize your oneness with all things. When asked to name the greatest commandment, Jesus answered without hesitation, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments." Matthew 22:37-40. What Jesus offered was not a long list of rules, but a teaching that transcends time and culture. Everything is rooted in love. Love is the essence of the Creator, and when we live in alignment with love, we become what we were created to be, expressions of the infinite. But love is more than a warm feeling or an abstract idea. Love requires action. It calls for service, forgiveness, compassion, and humility. Jesus lived this truth through every step of his ministry, repeatedly showing that divine love reaches across barriers. He healed the sick, forgave the outcast, dined with the despised, all to remind us, love has no limits. Christ's alignment with the law of one. When viewed through a broader lens, Christ's teachings align beautifully with the spiritual metaphysics described in the law of one, a channeled concept that describes all existence as part of an infinite creator. Central to the law of one is the idea that all beings, all things, and all dimensions are interconnected. In simplest terms, we are all one. The law of one emphasizes two primary paths in existence: the path of service to others, living with love, compassion, and unity, recognizing that every act of love uplifts the whole; the path of service to self, a path driven by fear and separation, focused on personal gain at the expense of others. Christ fully embodied the path of service to others. His ministry was one of healing, forgiving, teaching, and giving. Through these acts, Jesus reminded us that to serve others is to serve the Creator, for we are all reflections of the infinite. Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Matthew 25:40. The unity Jesus taught mirrors the oneness described in the law of one. When Christ said, "I and the Father are one," John 10:30, he wasn't setting himself apart as uniquely divine. Instead, he was revealing a truth that applies to all of us. We are not separate from the Creator. The Creator dwells within us, and we dwell within it. The kingdom of God is not above or beyond, it is within us. Luke 17:21. Freedom through Christ. One of the most profound aspects of Christ's mission is the freedom he offers. True freedom is not simply the absence of external oppression. It's liberation from the inner chains of fear, shame, and judgment. Christ's life and death demonstrated that freedom is found in trusting the Creator's love, even in the face of suffering. Religious systems have often emphasized sin, guilt, and punishment as central themes, creating a transactional relationship with God. Behave well, and you're rewarded. Fail, and you're punished. But Jesus broke through that paradigm. He preached a message of grace, a radical departure from fear-based religion. When Jesus said, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free," John 8:32, he wasn't referring to dogma or doctrine. The truth he pointed to was the understanding of your oneness with the Creator, your infinite worth as an extension of divine love, and your liberation from fear and separation. The chains people carry are not from the Creator. They are illusions created by misunderstanding. Recognizing this truth dissolves those chains and brings the inner peace Christ promised. "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives." John 14:27. The way, the truth, and the life. One of the most well-known, yet often misunderstood statements from Jesus is, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." John 14:6. For some, this has been interpreted as exclusivity, that no one can connect to God except by following a specific religion or set of rules. But what if Jesus was speaking about something far deeper? When Christ says, "I am the way," he is describing the spiritual path he embodies, the way of love, service, forgiveness, and unity. He is pointing to the truth of oneness, the reconnection to the Creator that happens when we align with divine love. His life was not meant to create barriers, but to show us the path to freedom that we are all invited to walk. The essence of this statement is not exclusion, it's invitation. It's a reminder that the way to know the Creator is through alignment with love and unity. Jesus' life demonstrated that this way is open to all, regardless of background, failures, or beliefs. The Creator is constantly calling us back to itself, and Christ showed us how to answer that call, the universal path of love. What makes Christ's teachings so profound is their universality. While rooted in a specific time and place, his message transcends religion. Many spiritual traditions echo this path of love and unity. Buddha taught compassion and the liberation from suffering. The law of one speaks of awakening to oneness through service to others. Indigenous traditions honor the interconnectedness of all life. These teachings are not separate. They are reflections of the same universal truth. Jesus is unique not because his message is exclusive, but because he embodied it so fully. His life serves as a shining example of what it means to live in perfect alignment with the Creator's law of love. Parable: The Lost Thread. There was a woman weaving a beautiful tapestry for her family. Each thread was chosen with care, adding new colors and patterns to the design. One day, a small thread was pulled loose. Over time, the thread came undone further, creating a gap in the tapestry. Seeing this, the woman said, "The gap makes the whole less than it was meant to be. But the thread has not been lost. It simply needs to be woven back in." She took the loose thread and carefully worked it back into the design, one stitch at a time. By the end, the tapestry was whole again, even more radiant because the thread had been restored. The loose thread is like humanity. At times, we have felt separated from the Creator, disconnected from the cosmic design. But the Creator's love always calls us back to the whole. We were never truly lost, only waiting to be woven back in. The path ahead. Jesus showed us what it means to be fully aligned with the Creator, fully whole and fully free. His teachings invite us to move beyond fear, guilt, and shame into a life of connection to the Creator, to others, and to the infinite love that dwells within us. End of Chapter 4. Chapter 5. Fear versus Love. The true inner battle. The greatest battle any of us will ever fight is not waged against external enemies. It's not about systems, governments, or other people. The battle that matters most is the one within each of us. The constant choice between fear and love, separation and connection, selfishness and service. Every moment, we are faced with opportunities to choose one or the other. This inner battle does not define our value, but it does shape our lives. Much of the suffering we experience comes not from external circumstances, but from the ways fear has taken root in our hearts. Fear tells us to protect ourselves, to close off, to control, or to build walls. It whispers that we are not enough, that we are separate, unworthy, or unlovable. Love, on the other hand, calls us to open, to heal, to forgive, and to connect. To trust that we are deeply loved and that we belong. This chapter is about recognizing that battle, understanding the wounds that allow fear to grow, and healing them so we can align with love and freedom. The eternal struggle of fear and love. Fear and love shape nearly every action, thought, and belief we hold. On the surface, this struggle seems external, about challenging situations, difficult people, or oppressive systems, but the root of it always lies within. Fear tells us we are in danger and need to protect ourselves, while love reminds us we are safe, connected, and held by the Creator's infinite grace. This battle isn't new. It's been part of humanity's story for as long as we can remember, woven into all spiritual traditions. Biblical texts often talk about fear as an obstacle to our connection with the Creator. In Christ's ministry, he repeatedly told people to not be afraid, to trust instead in the love and provision of the Father. Note how many times Jesus reassured others with the words, "Do not fear." Luke 12:32, Matthew 10:31. Fear and love aren't opposites. They are choices. The path of freedom, the path of Christ, invites us to live in alignment with love, even in the face of uncertainty. Choosing love over fear is not a single moment. It's a daily practice, one that requires self-awareness and surrender. It is also an act of great courage, as fear often feels easier in the short term, while love requires vulnerability and openness. The wounds that foster fear. Why is fear so powerful? Why do so many of us fall into cycles of shame, anger, or mistrust, even when we long to live in love? The answer lies not in a lack of effort or intention, but in the wounds we carry, some inherited, others learned through life experiences. These wounds can take many forms. Childhood wounds, experiences of rejection, loss, or unmet needs in our formative years often teach us to hide or protect ourselves. Religious trauma. Fear-based religious systems that emphasize guilt and punishment can leave deep scars, making it hard to trust the Creator's unconditional love. Societal conditioning, competition, comparison, and scarcity. Thinking in modern culture often reinforce the idea that we are not enough or must fight for our worth. Unprocessed emotions, pain, anger, grief, and shame can create walls around our hearts, cutting us off from love by keeping us stuck in cycles of fear. These wounds often manifest as an inner critical voice, a constant commentary telling us we're not good enough, or that something bad will happen if we let down our guard. But here's the truth. These voices are not the Creator's voice. They are remnants of fear, their roots in the past but their effects felt in the present. Healing the inner battle. The good news is that healing is possible. No wound is too deep, no heart too broken for the Creator's love to restore. Healing is a process of reconnecting to the truth of who we are, children of the Creator, infinitely loved and worthy of love. Here are the key steps to healing the inner battle. Awareness, acknowledging fear. The first step is recognizing where fear has taken root in your life. What are the areas where fear controls your decisions, relationships, or self-perception? What do you cling to out of fear? This isn't about judgment. It's about gently observing your emotions and thoughts so you can understand them. Releasing shame through love. Too often, we compound our pain by judging ourselves for feeling fear, anger, or sadness. Healing begins when we release this shame and allow love to flow into those wounded places. Christ's teachings remind us that we are already forgiven and loved. Allow yourself to feel that love and extend it to yourself as you would a dear friend. Forgiveness as liberation. True freedom requires forgiveness. This includes forgiveness of ourselves, others, and even life itself. Forgiveness does not excuse harmful actions, but it releases the burden of carrying resentment and pain. Jesus spoke of forgiveness often, not as a burden, but as a gift. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Luke 6:37. In forgiving others, we free ourselves and align with love. Reconnecting with the Creator. Healing happens in the presence of unconditional love, and there is no greater love than the infinite Creator. Through meditation, prayer, or quiet reflection, return to this unshakable truth. You are held, seen, and cherished by the Creator. Jesus taught us to trust the Creator's care. Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. John 14:1. Living from love. Once we begin healing our wounds, the challenge becomes practicing love daily. This means choosing love over fear in small, everyday moments, being kind when it's easier to judge, showing compassion when it's easier to ignore, and trusting when it's easier to doubt. Love isn't passive. It's an active force that transforms us and the world around us. Parable. The two architects. Two architects were hired to build homes for a new village. Each was given the same materials, but their approaches were very different. The first architect built quickly, using fear as his guide. What if the storms come? He thought. The winds are strong out here. So he built thick walls with few windows, sealing the house tightly. When the house was complete, it felt more like a fortress than a home. It was dark inside, and though it kept the storms out, it also kept the light out. The second architect approached her work with love and trust. She built her house with large windows, letting in light. She used strong materials but left spaces open for the breeze to pass through. When her house was finished, it was warm, inviting, and filled with sunshine. Both houses faced the same storms, yet the outcomes were different. The fortress withstood the winds, but it remained cold and dark, isolating the family inside. The open, light-filled home faced the same winds but swayed with them, remaining a place of joy and connection. The village soon saw the truth. Walls built from fear might protect temporarily, but they also imprison. Homes built with love create space for light and life to thrive. The invitation: healing the world by healing within. The battle between fear and love may feel overwhelming, but remember, the Creator already won this battle by creating you in love's image. Healing your wounds is not only about your freedom. It's about contributing to the greater whole. Each time you choose love, you ripple that energy outward, influencing the people and world around you. The Creator's light is constant, shining within you. All that's left is to let it in. End of Chapter 5. Chapter 6. The New Paradigm. Shifting from old narratives to galactic truths. In every era of human history, there comes a point where old systems begin to crumble, making way for something new. We are living in one of those turning points now. Across the globe, people are awakening to truths that challenge the narratives they've been taught. Truths about the nature of reality, the Creator, and even humanity itself. For centuries, humanity has lived under fear-based paradigms. Stories of separation from God, distrust of one another, scarcity, and shame. These old stories have built the world we see now, one filled with division, conflict, and suffering. But something profound is happening. More and more people are beginning to ask deeper questions. What if the way things have always been is not how they're meant to be? What if the Creator never intended for humanity to live in fear? What if we are more than we've been told? This chapter is about the awakening that is taking place on Earth, an invitation into a new paradigm, one in which humanity remembers its oneness with the Creator, embraces its purpose within the universe, and moves into alignment with love and truth. The old paradigm. Narratives rooted in fear. For millennia, humanity has been shaped by systems of fear and control. Whether through religion, governments, or societal structures, much of what we've believed has stemmed from narratives that separate us from the Creator and from one another. Some of the key beliefs that have dominated the old paradigm include separation from God. Many were taught that God is distant, angry, or judgmental, a figure to be feared rather than one intertwined with every breath of life. This perception caused countless people to feel unworthy of divine connection. Scarcity and competition. The belief that there is not enough, whether love, resources, or worth, fueled competition, greed, and exploitation throughout human history. Dominion over others. Fear-based systems crafted hierarchies of power, convincing people that some are inherently better than others, furthering division and inequality. Emphasis on punishment. Many spiritual systems focused heavily on sin, guilt, and fear of judgment, creating a transactional relationship with the Creator rather than one rooted in love and trust. These beliefs, intentionally or unintentionally, have created a heavy spiritual weight for humanity. But like any outdated structure, the old paradigm is beginning to crack under its own weight. The awakening. A shift in consciousness. As more people begin to question these narratives, a global awakening is taking place. Humanity is realizing that the old ways of fear, separation, and control no longer resonate with who we are at our core. Children of the Creator, made in love, and designed to live in harmony. This awakening manifests in different ways for different people, but the themes are universal. Questioning fear-based beliefs. Many are stepping away from belief systems that use fear to manipulate or control, seeking instead a direct and unfiltered connection with the Creator, healing and releasing old wounds. As people prioritize inner work, they discover that many of their fears and limiting beliefs are not who they truly are, but learned distortions that can be released, reconnecting with the Creator and nature. People are remembering the interconnectedness of life, that the Creator dwells not only within us but within all of creation. an expanded view of the universe. Humanity is opening itself to ideas once dismissed about life on other planets, interdimensional beings, and a greater cosmic community. These realizations pull us closer to truths that ancient traditions have whispered about for centuries. This shift is not exclusive to a few. It is happening on an individual and collective level. While the journey may feel uncertain, it is ultimately a return home. Home to the truth that humanity is deeply loved, infinitely connected, and part of something far greater than itself. Letting go of old stories. One of the hardest parts of spiritual awakening is letting go of the stories we've clung to for so long. These stories about who we are, what the world is, and what we're supposed to believe can feel comforting, even when they no longer serve us. But as the old paradigm crumbles, it makes space for something far more beautiful to emerge. Letting go does not mean rejecting everything we've ever known. It means discerning what is rooted in truth and love and what is rooted in fear and control. For some, this means reframing old beliefs. For others, it means stepping into entirely new ways of seeing the world. Trust that the Creator guides this process for each person in a way that aligns with their soul's journey. Ask yourself, where in your life have you accepted fear-based stories as truth? What beliefs about yourself, others, or God might you need to challenge? Letting go requires trust. Trust in the Creator, trust in love, and trust in the process of awakening. Humanity in the galactic picture. One of the most profound aspects of this awakening is the growing realization that humanity is not alone in the universe. Ancient cultures knew this, evident in their stories of gods, angels, and beings who came from the stars. As Earth moves through this time of transition, more truths are emerging about our cosmic origins and our connection to interdimensional and extraterrestrial life forms. Metaphysical teachings suggest that humanity is part of a much larger galactic community, one that includes beings who have been watching, guiding, and supporting humanity's spiritual evolution for eons. These beings, often referred to as higher dimensional or light beings, operate in alignment with the same universal laws Christ taught us: laws of love, service to others, and unity. This expansion of awareness challenges the small, fear-based story many have believed, that humanity is isolated, insignificant, or doomed to destruction. Instead, we are beginning to see ourselves as part of a much larger, divine design, a community of universal oneness. The Creator's love and purpose stretch far beyond Earth. Understanding this doesn't diminish humanity's worth. It magnifies it. Earth is a key part of this unfolding cosmic picture. This is why Christ's teachings and the shift we are experiencing now are so vital. Living in the new paradigm. What does it look like to live in this new paradigm? As the old narratives fall away, humanity has the opportunity to create something entirely new. Shifting to this new way of living involves aligning with love. Make choices that prioritize love over fear, unity over separation, and healing over conflict. Trusting the Creator. Believe in the infinite love and wisdom of the Creator, even in moments of uncertainty. Healing yourself, healing the world. Individual healing is collective healing. As you let go of fear in your own life, you contribute to raising the vibration of humanity as a whole. Staying open to new truths. Be willing to expand your view of reality while using discernment to identify what aligns with love and truth. The transition from the old to the new is not without its challenges. Times of transformation can feel messy, chaotic, or uncertain. But remember, fear often grows loudest just before it is overcome. You were not born for fear. You were born for freedom. Parable. The Travelers and the Bridge. Once, there was a group of travelers who journeyed across the land in search of a great city beyond the horizon. Along the way, they came to a crumbling bridge. The bridge was old and narrow, swaying at every step. Fear gripped the travelers. Many turned back, unwilling to risk the crossing. But one traveler faced the bridge with curiosity instead of fear. They stepped closer and noticed something remarkable. The bridge had been built not to crumble, but to transform. With every step they took, the old boards beneath their feet reshaped themselves into smooth, solid pathways. What seemed fragile had been designed to rebuild itself for those who dared to move forward. Encouraged, the traveler called to the others and said, "This bridge was never meant to be the end of our journey. It's the beginning of what lies ahead." One by one, the travelers who dared to cross found themselves walking into the light of the great city, stronger, freer, and closer to the place they'd been searching for all along. The invitation humanity stands on the edge of transformation. The old bridge of fear and separation may feel uncertain, but it is leading to something greater, a new way of living in alignment with love and truth. As we move forward, we'll explore how to discern truth amid this shifting world and how to remain grounded in love during these transformational times. For now, reflect. What old beliefs are keeping you on the edge of the bridge? What would it feel like to trust love and step forward? You are part of this awakening. You are part of this new paradigm. And the Creator's love is with you every step of the way. End of Chapter 6. Chapter 7. Navigating Transformation. Tools for Discernment and Trust. As the world undergoes tremendous shifts, both individually and collectively, it can feel disorienting. Old systems are breaking down, new ideas are emerging, and fear often rises as the foundation we knew starts to crumble. But transformation is not the end. It's the beginning of something new. It's an opportunity to step into a greater alignment with truth, love, and purpose. The challenge lies in discerning truth amid uncertainty and choosing to remain anchored in love rather than swept away by fear. Discernment and trust are your compass during these times. This chapter explores how to develop these tools and use them to navigate the spiritual, emotional, and physical changes happening in your life and the world. The nature of truth. In a time of transformation, everyone seems to have an idea of truth. Governments, religions, media, and individuals all offer conflicting narratives about what is real, what is right, and what is important. In the face of such noise, how do we know what aligns with the Creator's will? How do we discern whether something comes from love or from fear? Truth, at its core, is rooted in love, unity, and freedom. Anything that isolates, separates, or creates fear between you and the Creator is not truth, but distortion. Christ himself offered a guide for navigating these questions. By their fruit you will recognize them. Matthew 7:16. In other words, observe the outcomes of beliefs, actions, and narratives. Do they lead to healing, connection, and joy? Or do they foster fear, division, and despair? When seeking truth, remember, truth aligns with love. What reflects the Creator's unconditional love? What invites you into deeper connection with others, yourself, and the divine? Truth brings clarity, not confusion. While the path may not always be easy, truth resonates within your soul as calm, grounded knowing rather than chaotic doubt. Truth sets you free. It's liberating. Truth reminds you of your inherent worth, the infinite love of the Creator, and your connection to all things. Truth is not about following the loudest voice or the most popular opinion. It's about listening deeply to the quiet wisdom within you. The role of intuition. One of the Creator's greatest gifts to humanity is intuition. Intuition is the quiet inner voice that gently guides you toward truth and alignment. It is not based on logic or external validation, but on a deep resonance that comes from your connection to the Creator. Many teachings call this the still small voice, 1 Kings 19:12, a whisper that requires stillness, reflection, and trust to hear. In times of transformation, this voice becomes even more crucial, as it helps you discern the path forward amid competing narratives and fear-filled distractions. To strengthen your intuition, spend time in stillness. Quiet your mind through meditation, prayer, or simply sitting in silence. When you step away from the noise of the world, you can hear the Creator's guidance within you. Ask and receive. Trust that when you ask the Creator for clarity, guidance will come. It may arrive through a thought, a feeling, or even synchronicities in your life. Notice the fruits. Intuition speaks through peace and alignment. When something feels calm and light, it often reflects truth. When it feels heavy, fear-based, or chaotic, it's worth examining more closely. Trust yourself. Intuition grows stronger as you learn to follow it. The more you trust the guidance, the more clearly it speaks. Intuition does not work against reason. It complements it. While logic helps you examine the external world, intuition connects you to the divine wisdom within. Staying anchored in love. In a time of great change, it's easy to get caught up in the uncertainty, fear, or chaos happening around you. But you are not powerless. You are never without love. Staying anchored in love is not about ignoring the challenges of life, but about choosing to root yourself in the Creator's truth rather than fear's lies. Practical ways to stay anchored include daily connection with the Creator. Begin each day by grounding yourself in prayer, meditation, or reflection. Ask to be shown truth and to be a vessel of love throughout your day. This practice reminds you of your connection to the divine, no matter what the external world looks like. Gratitude as an anchor. Fear thrives on scarcity thinking, the belief that there isn't enough. Gratitude shifts this perspective, reminding you of the abundance of love, blessings, and beauty that surrounds you. Compassion toward yourself and others. Especially during times of transformation, be gentle with yourself and those around you. Everyone is navigating these shifts in their own way. Extend kindness where judgment might normally arise. Focus on what you can create. Fear tends to fixate on what might go wrong, but love asks, what can I bring into this moment? Whether it's a smile, a kind word, or an act of service, lean into what you can do to bring love into the world. Surround yourself with love-filled voices. Seek wisdom from people, teachings or practices that uplift you rather than feed your fears. Be discerning with what you consume, as it shapes your thoughts. Christ's teachings invite us to let love be your highest goal. 1 Corinthians 14:1. When rooted in love, you create a firm foundation that fear cannot shake. Parable. The lighthouse and the storm. There was once a lighthouse that stood upon a rocky shore, its bright beam stretching across the ocean to guide passing ships. For years, the lighthouse keeper tended its light, ensuring it burned brightly day and night. One year, a powerful storm swept across the sea. The sky was black with clouds, the winds howled, and the waves crashed violently against the shore. Many people in the surrounding village panicked, shutting themselves in their homes and extinguishing their lights. The lighthouse keeper, however, climbed to the top of the tower and lit the lamp. The storm battered the lighthouse, but its foundation was strong, and its light remained steady. Through the darkness and chaos, the light reached the ships at sea, guiding them safely to shore. Days later, a villager approached the lighthouse keeper and asked, "Weren't you afraid the storm would destroy the tower? Why did you keep it lit?" The keeper smiled and replied, "The storm came not to destroy me, but to test my light. Some will hide in fear when the winds rise, but the light keeper's job is to shine." Reflection on the parable. The lighthouse represents you, and the storm symbolizes the transformative shift happening in the world. Like the lighthouse keeper, your purpose is not to hide when challenges arise, but to shine, grounding yourself in love and truth so that your light can provide guidance and hope to those around you. No matter how fierce the storm, your connection to the Creator is your unshakable foundation. The light within you was placed there for times like these. Trusting the process. Transformation is messy. Old systems resist change, fear grows louder, and the path forward may seem unclear. But this is the Creator's way of clearing out what no longer serves and making room for something new. Trust the process, even in its discomfort, and remember, you are never alone. The Creator's love is with you at every step. You don't need to have all the answers. Simply trust that you are part of a greater design. Your light matters. By choosing love, you contribute to the collective healing and growth of humanity. As we move forward, the next chapter will explore how to actively align your life with this new paradigm of love and truth. For now, let your heart reflect on this. How can you cultivate discernment in your life? What practices will keep you anchored in love during times of uncertainty? The storm is temporary, but the light within you is eternal. Trust that it will carry you through. End of Chapter 7. Chapter 8. Living in Alignment. Building a life rooted in love. Awakening to new truths opens the door to expanded awareness, but the journey doesn't stop at understanding. Knowledge becomes power only when it is lived, when our inner transformation begins to reshape the way we show up in the world. Every action, thought, and word is an opportunity to align ourselves with love and truth, to live as reflections of the Creator's light. In this chapter, we'll explore what it means to build a life rooted in love, practically, spiritually, relationally, and energetically. The goal isn't to strive for perfection, but to actively embody the divine truth we are awakening to. Living in alignment transforms not only ourselves, but also those around us and, ultimately, the world. The foundation of alignment: love and integrity. Living in alignment begins with anchoring ourselves in love and acting with integrity. Love, in this sense, is not merely a feeling. It's a state of being. It's choosing to extend compassion, kindness, and understanding to ourselves, others, and the world. Integrity is the bridge that ensures your actions reflect your highest truth, that your external life mirrors your inner beliefs. Ask yourself, do my actions align with my values of love and truth? How do I contribute to connection over division, compassion over condemnation? Do I treat myself with the same love and gentleness I give others? When we act with both love and integrity, we create harmony between who we are and how we show up. Misalignment, when our thoughts and actions contradict our deeper truths, creates suffering. But the more intentionally we align, the more whole and at peace we feel. Practical alignment. Spiritual practices for daily life. Building a life rooted in love starts with small, consistent choices. Here are practical ways to integrate spirituality into daily living. Begin your day with intention. Before diving into the tasks and noise of the day, take a moment to ground yourself through prayer, meditation, or reflection. Ask the Creator to guide your thoughts, choices, and interactions so they are rooted in love. Create an affirmation to repeat. I am a vessel of divine love. I walk in truth and light today. Mindful choices in your actions. In every decision you make, practice asking a simple question. Am I choosing love, or am I acting from fear? For example, are you offering kindness to a colleague or criticism out of frustration? When faced with uncertainty, are you trusting divine timing or panicking about control? Choosing love doesn't mean avoiding difficult decisions, but approaching them with integrity and compassion. Gratitude. As a way of being, gratitude turns our focus away from scarcity and fear to the abundance that exists in our lives. Take time daily to acknowledge the small blessings in your life, from the beauty of nature to an act of kindness someone shows you. Acts of service. Christ emphasized service as a pathway to divine alignment. Whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant. Matthew 20:26. Service doesn't have to be grand. It can be as simple as listening to a friend, offering a helping hand, or sharing encouragement. Spiritual detox. Emotional, mental, and spiritual clutter can create fog in our soul. Take time to declutter by releasing the energies, thoughts, or environments that don't serve your highest self. Are there habits, relationships, or fears you need to let go of? Trust that clearing these will make room for love and truth to flow more freely. Alignment in relationships. Living in love means extending it outward, especially to those around you. This does not mean condoning harm or remaining in unhealthy dynamics, but choosing love as your default posture toward others. Radical compassion in relationships. Whether with family, friends, or strangers, make compassion a guiding principle. Understand that each person carries their own wounds and fears, just as you do. Approach conflict with humility and a desire to understand rather than defend. Healthy boundaries as love. Love does not mean abandoning yourself for others. Setting boundaries is a necessary act of self-love and care. It allows you to give freely without resentment and ensures your relationships are rooted in mutual respect and understanding. Forgiveness as freedom. Forgiveness is not about excusing harm, but releasing the burden of bitterness. As Christ taught, forgive not 7 times, but 77 times. Matthew 18:22. Holding on to resentment chains you to the past, while forgiveness frees your heart for love. Unity over division relationships often falter over differences in perspectives, beliefs, or ideals. Yet, unity does not mean uniformity. It means valuing connection over the need to win or prove someone else wrong. Love asks us to focus on what binds us together rather than what separates. Parable: the mirror in the market. There was once a market in the heart of a busy town. Every morning, a merchant would hang a large mirror in the center of the square. The mirror was extraordinary. It reflected not only the outside, but the soul of the person looking at it. One morning, a woman stood before the mirror and gasped. Her reflection was dark, shadowed by anger and grief she had not allowed herself to release. Outraged, she accused the mirror of being flawed. "It's broken!" she shouted and stormed away. Later that day, a young boy stood before the mirror. In his reflection, he saw vast light radiating from his chest, though he was clothed in simple, tattered clothes. "How can this be?" the boy wondered. "I thought I was insignificant, but this mirror shows I am filled with light." Soon, a wise elder approached and spoke to those gathered. "Do you not see? The mirror shows the truth of what is within. If you do not like what you see, the mirror is not to blame. You must choose what you reflect." From then on, the mirror taught many lessons. Those who worked to heal their wounds and nurture love within themselves began to see a brighter, truer reflection. Reflection on the parable. This parable reminds us that the world is a mirror, reflecting what we carry within us. The way you live, your actions, your thoughts, and your energy, all project into the people and circumstances around you. If you don't like what you see in the reflection of your life, the solution lies not in breaking the mirror, but in transforming what's inside. Your choice to live in alignment with love shifts not only your own heart, but the energy you bring to others. You are a co-creator, and your impact ripples outward. The ripple effect of living in alignment. As you live in alignment with divine love and eternal truth, your life becomes a testament to what is possible. Others will see the peace, freedom, and joy radiating from you and feel inspired to begin their own journey. This ripple effect is how transformation spreads, not through force or fear, but through the quiet yet profound example of a life lived in harmony with the Creator. Living in alignment is not about perfection, it's about intention. Every moment offers you a new choice, a new opportunity to move closer to love and truth. The invitation. Reflect on these questions as you continue to align your life with love and truth. What areas of your life feel out of alignment with your values or spiritual truth? Are there habits, relationships, or beliefs you need to release or reframe? How can you extend love to yourself more deeply and let that love flow into your actions and relationships? This is your invitation to build a life that shines brightly, a reflection of the love and unity you were created to embody. As we move forward, our next chapter will explore the collective impact of aligned living and what it means for humanity's future. You are more connected, powerful, and loved than you know. Step into alignment and let your light illuminate the world. End of Chapter 8. Chapter 9. Humanity's Evolution. The Collective Ascension. As individuals awaken to love, truth, and spiritual alignment, their transformations ripple outward. These ripples merge, creating waves of change that extend beyond singular lives. What starts as a personal journey inevitably becomes a collective movement. Humanity is not separate from one another, nor from the Creator's divine plan. The awakening of one inspires the awakening of many. In this chapter, we'll explore the spiritual and practical significance of collective ascension, how humanity is evolving, what this evolution means, and how we can co-create a future rooted in love, unity, and truth. Humanity on the brink of a new era. Just as individuals experience spiritual growth and awakening, so too does humanity as a whole. Throughout history, there have been pivotal moments where humanity was called to expand its consciousness. We are in one of those moments now. The old ways of fear, separation, and control are being revealed and dismantled. New awareness surrounding connection, interdependence, and shared purpose is emerging. This spiritual evolution, often referred to as collective ascension, invites humanity to shift from a fragmented state of being to one rooted in unity and love. It is both a transition and a remembering. We are not evolving into something new. We are returning to the inherent truth of our nature as children of the Creator, interconnected with all of creation. The role of frequency in ascension. Much of this collective evolution can be understood in terms of energy. Everything in existence, including your thoughts, emotions, and intentions, carries a specific frequency. Fear, anger, and separation resonate at lower frequencies, while love, joy, and unity vibrate at higher ones. Humanity's task in this era of transformation is to collectively raise its energetic frequency, not as individuals isolated from one another, but as a unified whole. This doesn't mean everyone must think or act the same way. Rather, it's about the collective shift from fear to love, self-focus to service, and disconnection to oneness. As individuals continue to heal, forgive, and align with love, their higher frequency uplifts those around them. This is why your personal spiritual work matters so deeply. It contributes not only to your own growth, but to humanity's collective awakening. Some key aspects of raising humanity's collective frequency are healing generational wounds. Patterns of fear, pain, and division are often passed from one generation to the next. As more individuals heal their inner wounds, they break cycles of suffering and create space for something brighter to emerge. Acts of unity and cooperation. Fear thrives in division, while love flourishes in connection. By prioritizing unity over conflict and cooperation over competition in global systems, communities naturally begin to resonate at higher frequencies. Focus on service to others. Humanity evolves not through serving the self first, but through serving others. As this focus grows, collective priorities shift from, "What can I accomplish for myself?" to, "How can we thrive together?" Birthing a new world. The process of spiritual evolution is not without challenges. Birth is often messy, and the brighter the light becomes, the more the shadow is exposed. During this period of transition, both light and shadow will rise to the surface, as old systems of power resist change and attempt to cling to control. But take heart. The process is inevitable. The Creator's will guides this rebirth, and nothing rooted in fear or illusion can stand against the power of love. What can you, as an individual, do to help usher in this new era? You can participate in the creation of a new world by embodying the principles of transformation in your daily life. Support ethical systems. Seek alignment in the organizations and communities you're part of. Advocate for fairness, sustainability, and compassion in the way societies operate. Envision the future you desire. The world we create begins with the images we hold in our minds and hearts. Focus not on the destruction of old ways, but the creation of something better. Recognize your role as a co-creator. You are not a bystander to this transformation. You are an active participant in the rise of a new consciousness. Each choice you make, no matter how small, contributes to the world we are building together. The galactic perspective. This collective awakening is not unique to humanity. It is part of a larger pattern unfolding across the cosmos. It is said in many spiritual traditions that Earth is undergoing a profound shift in consciousness, one that is being witnessed and supported by higher dimensional beings and civilizations. From a galactic perspective, humanity may currently seem young, still grappling with fear, conflict, and division. But this period of awakening has not been abandoned or dismissed by the Creator. On the contrary, it is deeply supported. Humanity is ascending into its place within a universal family of beings aligned with love, unity, and service. This evolution will open humanity's awareness to interconnection, not only on Earth, but beyond it. The Earth is not isolated. It is part of a divine tapestry, a galactic system of learning, evolving, and co-creating. Your transformation contributes to this larger unfolding, bridging Earth's consciousness with universal truths. Parable. The Symphony. Once, there was a village where every person was given a single musical instrument. One received a drum, another a flute, another a violin. For years the villagers played their instruments alone, each focused on their solo, paying little attention to how their music affected the whole. Some played beautifully, others played chaotically. The result was noise, a discordant sound that caused discomfort at every corner of the village. One day, a wise woman gathered the people and said, "Don't you see? These instruments were not meant to be played alone. They were meant to come together." At first, the villagers were resistant. "My music isn't like theirs," one said. "I don't want to sacrifice my song to suit someone else's," said another. But trusting the wise woman, they came together and began to play as a group, listening to one another and adjusting their tones to harmonize. When the villagers finally played in unity, a miraculous thing happened. The sound was no longer noise but a symphony, greater and more beautiful than the sum of its parts. The villagers marveled, realizing their instruments were always meant to contribute to something greater than themselves. From that moment on, they played together, their daily symphony filling the village with joy and light. Reflection on the parable. Humanity is like a village of solo musicians learning to play as one symphony. Each individual contributes a unique sound, a unique perspective, and a unique purpose. But harmony is achieved only when we come together, when we listen, adjust, and align ourselves with love and unity. The noise of the old world, the conflict, fear, and fragmentation can feel overwhelming at times. But as more of us awaken to our shared connection, the symphony of humanity emerges, an offering to the Creator and the cosmos. The collective invitation. As we step into the new era, reflect on these questions. How can my personal awakening contribute to humanity's collective healing? What role can I play in building systems of love and unity? How can I begin to harmonize with others, even if they don't yet see the same truths I do? You are part of something far greater than yourself. By living in alignment with love, you contribute to a collective transformation that builds a brighter, more harmonious future. In the next chapter, we'll dive deeper into the opportunities and challenges that arise as individuals and societies shift toward higher frequencies and expanded consciousness. For now, trust in humanity's process. Remember, the light of the Creator is not only within you, it is within all of us. End of Chapter 9. Chapter 10. Challenges and Opportunities in the Awakening. Awakening, whether individual or collective, is a process of shedding old layers to step into greater truth. As beautiful and liberating as this process is, it often comes with challenges, resistance, uncertainty, feelings of loss, and even fear of the unknown. Transformation disrupts the familiar, breaking apart outdated systems, beliefs, and structures that once provided a sense of stability, even when those structures no longer served us. For humanity, this period of collective ascension is both a time of great turbulence and profound opportunity. While the difficulties might feel overwhelming at times, they are not signs of failure or doom, but necessary steps on the path of rebirth. This chapter explores the challenges of this awakening, the opportunities it brings, and practical ways we can align ourselves to flow with the transformation rather than resist it. The challenges of awakening. Periods of widespread spiritual, social, and personal transformation inevitably create tension. As light emerges to illuminate truth and expand awareness, it also shines directly on all that has been hidden or denied. Here are some of the key challenges humanity faces in this shift. Resistance to change. Humans are creatures of habit, and change, no matter how necessary, often triggers fear. Whether it's an individual clinging to old beliefs or entire systems resisting collapse, the pull to maintain the status quo is strong. Old systems of power may grow louder and more desperate as they fight to maintain control, but this resistance is often a sign that their time is ending. Darkness, being exposed. As more light enters the collective consciousness, what has been hidden in the shadows, corruption, inequality, and fear-based systems, comes to the surface. This can feel overwhelming, as it often seems the world is growing darker. But this exposure is part of the healing process. Like a wound being cleaned, the pain is temporary, and it paves the way for healing and renewal. Division and polarization. During times of awakening, society often splits between those embracing change and those holding tightly to the old ways. This polarization can breed conflict, misunderstanding, and fear between people. But this division is not permanent. It represents the growing pains of humanity's shift into greater unity. The noise of fear and distraction. Fear is often used as a tool to distract and divide. In a world undergoing profound change, narratives of fear, both subtle and explicit, can cloud judgment, keep people focused on survival rather than growth, and delay the journey toward higher awareness. Recognizing these distractions is key to staying aligned with the truth. Loss of identity. For many, the awakening process can feel like losing not only old beliefs but the very identity they were built upon. Societal structures such as religion, career, politics, or appearances may fall away, leaving individuals feeling unsure of who they are in this new paradigm. This uncertainty is not the end, but an invitation to discover their deeper, truer self. The opportunities of awakening. Despite the challenges, this great transformation also brings extraordinary opportunities. Humanity is being invited to co-create a new way of living, one aligned with love, wisdom, and unity. Here's what's possible during this time of awakening. Healing collective wounds. The systems built on fear, separation, and control have left deep wounds in humanity. Generational trauma, environmental destruction, inequality, and loss of connection. As these systems begin to fall away, humanity has the opportunity to heal, rebuild, and restore harmony, not just with one another, but with Earth itself. Reconnecting with nature. The old paradigm of exploitative living has separated humanity from its roots in the natural world. The awakening invites a deeper respect for Earth, recognizing it not as a resource to be used, but as a sacred home to be nurtured. This includes living more sustainably and restoring balance to the planet. Embracing oneness. One of the gifts of awakening is the recognition of humanity's interconnectedness. This awareness dissolves barriers such as race, religion, nationality, and economic status, allowing humanity to rediscover itself as a unified family. Unity does not mean sameness. It means valuing and celebrating diversity as part of the greater whole. Creative innovation times of great transformation are also times of incredible creativity. As old systems fall away, humanity is free to imagine and build structures of greater alignment, from schools to governments, from scientific breakthroughs to spiritual communities. This is a time to dream big and create from a place of love. Living as co-creators, as individuals reclaim their connection to divine love, they begin to see themselves as co-creators with the Creator. This empowerment inspires positive actions, reminds us of our infinite potential, and aligns us with the cosmic vision of what's possible. Navigating the challenges. Practical tools. So, how do we navigate this period of turbulence without losing hope or direction? Here are practical strategies to help you remain rooted in love during times of collective change. Hold space for the process. Transformation is messy. It's not always linear, and setbacks are a natural part of the journey. Practice patience with yourself and others as humanity collectively works through this process. Trust that the Creator's timing is perfect, even when the path feels unclear. Cultivate your inner peace. When the external world feels chaotic, return to your inner sanctuary. Practices such as meditation, prayer, journaling, or spending time in nature can help you connect with stillness and clarity. From this space of calm, you'll make decisions that reflect truth, not fear. Be a peacemaker. As polarization rises, focus on being a bridge rather than a divider. Listen to others with compassion rather than defensiveness, and seek shared truths even when differences seem profound. Every act of understanding contributes to the healing of division. Be disciplined with media consumption. Fear thrives on attention. Be mindful of what news and social media you consume, balancing awareness of current events with a conscious effort to focus on love and solutions rather than fear and despair. Trust the light. Remember the lesson of the parable of the lighthouse, chapter 7. The storms are temporary, but the light of the Creator is eternal. No matter how dark it seems, love is always present, quietly guiding humanity toward a brighter future. Parable: The Potter and the Clay. There was once a potter who worked tirelessly to create the perfect vase. Day after day, she spun the clay, shaping its walls and smoothing its surface. But every time she thought it was finished, she noticed a crack or imperfection. One day, deeply frustrated with the flaws she couldn't seem to fix, the potter smashed the vase back into a lump of clay. In her despair, she was ready to give up. But as her hands rested on the clay, she felt it was still soft, still willing to be molded. With renewed patience, the potter began again. This time she worked more slowly, listening to the clay rather than forcing it into shape. To her awe, the vase began to take its own unique form, one she could not have imagined on her own. When it was finished, it radiated a beauty so profound that it brought tears to her eyes. Reflection on the parable. The potter is humanity, and the clay is the world we are shaping. The old paradigms, like the first vase, may have cracks that can no longer be smoothed over. But this is not failure. It is an invitation to begin again, to co-create something even more beautiful, aligned with the Creator's will. As long as we remain willing, the divine potter is always guiding us, shaping us, and molding us into vessels of greater love and truth. The invitation: trusting the process. As humanity journeys through this time of awakening, reflect on these questions. How can I contribute to healing, connection, and higher awareness in the world around me? What fears do I need to release in order to trust the transformation process? What opportunities can I embrace to help co-create a better future? The challenges of awakening are real, but so are the profound opportunities for growth and joy. The Creator's love is the foundation of this transformation, and you are an essential part of the process. Trust in the renewal unfolding within you and around you. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to deepen your trust, and discover the joy hidden within the journey of spiritual evolution. For now, remember, the dawn always follows the darkest hour. You are being guided home. End of Chapter 10. Chapter 11. Trusting the Journey and Reclaiming Joy. In the midst of transformation, whether personal or collective, it is easy to become consumed by uncertainty, fear, or doubt. The world may seem chaotic, progress may feel slow, and the path may not always appear clear. But even in the turbulence, the Creator calls us to trust, not as blind obedience, but as a deep, inner knowing that all things are unfolding exactly as they are meant to. Within this trust lies the secret to reclaiming joy, even in the midst of challenges. Joy is not found in external perfection, but in the quiet certainty of the Creator's love. When we trust the journey, we create space to awaken to the beauty, purpose, and peace that have been present all along. This chapter explores the importance of trust, how to reclaim joy as an act of devotion, and how staying aligned with the Creator's love allows us to experience peace even in uncertain times. The nature of trust. Trust is the bridge between your soul and the infinite wisdom of the Creator. It is not about having all the answers or being certain of every step of the path. It is about surrendering the need for control and embracing the knowledge that you are always held by the Creator's love. In moments of transformation, trust reminds us that even when life feels uncertain, the Creator's plan is unfolding perfectly, that the challenges we face are opportunities for growth and a greater alignment with truth, that we are never alone, even when the path seems dark. Trust may not always come easily. It requires releasing the ego's desire to predict outcomes and instead embracing the mystery of divine timing. But the more you trust, the more you find solace in the simple truth that the Creator is always present, always guiding. Reclaiming joy, the gift of the present moment. Joy often feels elusive in times of change. The human tendency is to wait for joy, to promise ourselves, "I'll be happy when this storm passes," or "I'll have peace once I figure everything out." But joy is not something to wait for. It is something to reclaim moment by moment. Joy is not the absence of suffering or uncertainty. It is the conscious choice to recognize the sacredness of now. Some ways to reclaim joy include gratitude in the small things. Joy grows when you notice and appreciate the blessings around you, no matter how small. The morning sun, the kindness of a stranger, or the rhythm of your breath can all be gateways to joy. Laughing in the midst of chaos. Laughter is a release, a reminder not to take life, or yourself, too seriously. Even in challenging times, allow yourself to find moments of humor or lightness. Joy often springs from the ability to see beauty in imperfection. Embracing wonder, joy flourishes when you approach life with curiosity and awe. Spend time in nature, marvel at the stars, or immerse yourself in art. These moments invite you into the flow of divine creativity. Sharing love and kindness, acts of love, both giving and receiving, are one of the purest sources of joy. By serving others, forgiving freely, and extending compassion, you reconnect with the Creator's joy, which flows through all acts of love. Surrendering to the sacred now. Joy is only ever accessible in the present moment. Pause frequently throughout your day and ask yourself, where is the joy right now? You may be surprised how often it reveals itself when you listen. When you reclaim joy, even amid challenges, you align yourself with the Creator's presence. Joy reminds you that life is not simply a destination to reach, but a gift to be savored here and now. Trust and joy as acts of faith. Trusting the Creator and reclaiming joy are acts of faith, declarations of belief that love is the foundation of all things, even when circumstances seem to say otherwise. When you choose trust and joy, you reflect the Creator's light to the world. You embody the freedom Christ spoke of, I have told you this so that my joy may be in you and your joy may be complete. John 15:11. Faith does not demand certainty. Faith invites surrender. It whispers, I do not yet see how, but I know the Creator is working for my greatest good. In that surrender, trust grows and joy blossoms as its fruit. Parable: The Mountain Trail. A traveler embarked on a mountain trail that was said to lead to an extraordinary view. As they climbed higher, the trail grew steep, the rocks loose beneath their feet. At times, the traveler could only see a few feet ahead, and the summit seemed unreachable. Frustrated, the traveler considered turning back, but the thought of what might await at the top urged them forward. Along the way, the traveler passed a stream flowing between the rocks. The sound of the water brought peace. They saw flowers growing along the path, their colors bright against the gray stone. A passing bird sang a melody so beautiful it made the traveler pause and smile. When the traveler finally reached the summit, they marveled at the immense beauty before them. The clouds parting to reveal endless skies, the valleys below painting greens and blues across the horizon. But as they stood there, they realized something profound. The most joyful moments of the journey had not come at the summit, but along the path itself. In the little reminders of life's beauty they had noticed when they chose to be present. Reflection on the parable. The parable of the mountain trail reminds us that the journey itself is sacred. While the destination, the divine union, or the collective awakening, is our ultimate goal, the Creator's gifts and guidance are woven into every step along the way. Trusting the process allows us to slow down, notice, and embrace the beauty of the journey. Much of life's joy is hidden in the ordinary moments of being alive. The love exchanged in a smile, the stillness of a sunrise, the comfort of a warm meal, or the sound of laughter. When we stay awake to these moments, we see that the Creator's presence is not waiting at the mountaintop. It's right here, with us now. Opportunities hidden in the journey. This time of transformation is itself a gift. Within it, opportunities for growth, connection, and healing abound. Here are some ways to embrace this journey as a sacred opportunity. Develop deeper faith. In times of certainty, faith requires little effort. But in moments of doubt or upheaval, trusting the Creator fosters spiritual resilience and humility. Recognize growth in discomfort challenges, whether personal or collective. Hold the seeds of transformation. Every struggle, disappointment, and uncertainty is an invitation to expand your capacity for love, forgiveness, and trust. Strengthen community. The journey is not meant to be walked alone. Support others and allow them to support you. Together, you create a web of love and light that fortifies the path for all. Celebrate the small victories. Every choice to trust, every moment of joy reclaimed, and every act of kindness is a step forward. Celebrate these, no matter how small, as signs of the Creator's love working through you and the world. The invitation: choose trust, embrace joy. As humanity journeys through this time of awakening, the Creator continually invites us to trust and find joy in the unfolding. Reflect on these questions. Where is the Creator inviting me to release control and trust the divine plan? What sources of joy and beauty can I embrace in my daily life? How can I choose faith over fear, even in the face of uncertainty? The journey may feel steep at times, but you are not walking it alone. The Creator's love is before you, behind you, and within you, guiding each step. Joy is not waiting at the end of the path. It's with you now, waiting to be seen and embraced. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to fully step into your role as a co-creator with the divine, embracing your power to shape the future in alignment with love and truth. For now, take a deep breath and trust this. The Creator's plan is perfect, and you are exactly where you are meant to be. End of Chapter 11. Chapter 12. Stepping into your power. as a co-creator. You were not created to be a passive being, someone to simply observe life unfold. Nor were you made to be subject to forces beyond your control, stumbling through life in fear and uncertainty. You are a child of the Creator, made in the image of divine love and truth. Within you resides the ability to shape your life and contribute to the collective reality. This is the essence of co-creation. To co-create is to partner with the Creator, aligning your actions, intentions, and thoughts with love and truth. It is to recognize that your choices matter, your energy ripples outward, and your life is a unique and essential thread in the universal tapestry. The Creator empowers you to shape your world, providing infinite grace and wisdom as you step into this sacred role. In this chapter, we'll explore what it means to be a co-creator, how to align with the divine will, and how to move through your life with clarity, creativity, and purpose. What does it mean to be a co-creator? Co-creation is not about controlling outcomes, forcing reality to meet your desires, or bending life to your will. Instead, it is a partnership with the Creator, a willingness to align your heart and purpose with divine truth and allow that alignment to guide your actions. To be a co-creator means recognizing your power. You have been given the ability to think, feel, and act. Each thought carries energy, each word shapes reality, and each choice steers the path of your life. Living with intention. Co-creation calls you to live consciously, stepping away from habits dictated by fear, inertia, or external pressures, and instead acting in alignment with love and purpose. Embracing responsibility. Each of us contributes to the collective reality. By choosing compassion, truth, and service, you help uplift humanity's frequency and bring healing to the world. Trusting the Creator's guidance. While you have power, you are never creating alone. Divine wisdom flows through your intuition, prayer, and the synchronicities of life, always guiding you toward the highest good. Co-creation is active, dynamic, and sacred. It is a process of being, aligning, and doing, all while trusting the Creator to work alongside you, aligning your energy with divine creation. Your energy is the foundation of your co-creative power. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions vibrate at frequencies of love, compassion, and trust, you become a clearer vessel for the Creator's will to flow through you. Here are steps to align yourself for co-creation. Cultivate clarity. Take time to reflect and discern what it is you are creating in your life. Are your thoughts reinforcing patterns of fear or stagnation, or are they empowering you to build something new? Journaling, meditation, and prayer can help pinpoint areas of misalignment. Focus on love. The most powerful medium of creation is love. As you approach any situation, ask yourself, how can I bring love into this moment? Creation born of fear creates chaos, but creation born of love reflects divine harmony. Set clear intentions. Your intentions act like seeds planted in the soil of reality. The clearer your intention, the more fertile the ground for growth. Whether it's cultivating peace in your relationships, pursuing meaningful work, or healing a wound, your intentions guide your energy. Trust and surrender. While you are a co-creator, you are not in control of every detail. Trust that the Creator is working with you, shaping the outcomes in ways you may not immediately understand. Surrender attachment to specific results and trust the divine timing. Align action with intention. Co-creation is not just about thought, it's about action. As you set your intentions, take practical steps to bring them into being. Trust the Creator to meet you halfway as you step forward in faith. Obstacles to co-creation. While stepping into your power can feel liberating, there are natural obstacles that arise along the way. Becoming aware of these challenges allows you to navigate them with wisdom. Fear of failure. Many hesitate to step into co-creation out of fear of making mistakes, of being judged, or of falling short. Remember, co-creation is not about perfection, but growth. Mistakes are an essential part of the process and often lead to greater clarity. Self-doubt. You may question whether you are worthy of being a co-creator, but this is a distortion. The Creator does not withhold power, love, or grace from anyone. You are already enough as you are, and the Creator's love flows through you always. Fear of responsibility. Stepping into your power does require taking responsibility for your life and your impact, and this can feel overwhelming. But remember, the Creator walks beside you. You are always supported in carrying this responsibility. External negativity. The world often pulls us away from love and truth, encouraging fear, consumption, and distraction. Guard yourself against voices, both external and internal, that sow doubt and division, bringing heaven to earth, creating for the collective good. Being a co-creator extends beyond your personal life. As your alignment deepens, your creations naturally ripple outward, influencing the collective. Remember, the Creator's will is always rooted in unity, service, and the greater good. Here are ways to consciously create for the collective. Envision a world rooted in love. What does a world aligned with peace, justice, and compassion look like to you? Hold this vision in your heart and let it guide your thoughts and actions. Actively serve others. Whether through small acts of kindness or expansive community efforts, bring love and support to those around you. Uplift what already exists. Support initiatives, organizations, and movements that are aligned with the principles of healing, sustainability, and unity. Allow your gifts to shine. Every individual carries unique talents and passions. These are no coincidence. They are part of your divine purpose. Use them to bring light into the world. As more people embrace their role as co-creators, humanity collectively shifts into a higher alignment. This is how change happens, not through force, but through the combined intention and action of many spreading light. Parable, the field of stars. There was once a barren field where nothing grew. Many people passed by, lamenting its emptiness but doing nothing to change it. One day, a young woman stopped in the field and decided to plant a single seed. Though others mocked her for her effort, she tended the soil and watered the seed faithfully. As the seed grew into a tree, it dropped more seeds, and sprouts began to emerge all across the field. Other passers-by, inspired by the woman's work, began planting seeds of their own. Over time, the barren field transformed into a lush, vibrant forest. Walking through the field one evening, the villagers looked up at the canopy of trees above them and saw something miraculous. The leaves reflected the light of the stars, glittering across the branches like 1,000 tiny mirrors. The young woman smiled and said, "What once seemed bare was simply waiting to be created." Reflection on the parable. The field represents the world around us, and the seeds are the intentions and actions we plant as co-creators. What once seemed barren flourished when one person chose to act with faith, trust, and purpose. Your work, no matter how small it appears, has the power to inspire and cultivate new beginnings. Together, our collective efforts reflect divine light, just like the starlit trees. The invitation. Embrace your role as a co-creator. You were not created to be small or powerless. The Creator has gifted you the ability to create, shape, and transform. To not only imagine a better world, but to make it real. Reflect on these questions. What intentions am I sowing in my life each day? Am I trusting the Creator's guidance and surrendering outcomes I cannot control? How can I align my actions with love to create not only for myself, but for the collective good? You are a vital part of the Creator's plan, a co-creator of worlds. Embrace this role with humility, courage, and joy, and trust that every loving action you take ripples outward to bless the whole. In the next chapter, we will explore divine purpose, how discovering and embracing your unique purpose aligns with the Creator's greater plan, and how your individual gifts contribute to the collective awakening. For now, trust this truth. You are not here by chance. You are a co-creator, and the world is waiting for your light. End of Chapter 12. Chapter 13. Discovering and embracing your divine purpose. Every soul is born with a purpose rooted in the Creator's love. This purpose is not defined by the titles we earn, the jobs we hold, or what society measures as success. Instead, it is the unique way in which your life contributes to the Creator's greater plan of love, healing, and unity. Discovering your purpose is not a matter of finding something outside of yourself. Rather, it is about remembering what already exists within you. Your gifts, strengths, interests, and even your challenges all point to who you were created to be. To live aligned with your divine purpose is to honor the Creator's design for your life. This chapter will guide you to uncover your unique purpose and show how it fits into the sacred tapestry of humanity's collective awakening. What is divine purpose? Divine purpose is the role your soul was designed to fulfill in this lifetime. It is a destination, yes, but also a way of being, a day-by-day journey of living in alignment with your highest self and the Creator's intention. Everyone's purpose is unique, but all true purposes share these qualities. Rooted in love. Your purpose will always reflect the Creator's love through service, creativity, healing, teaching, or simply the way you move through the world. Aligned with truth, your purpose will resonate deeply with who you are. It will never require you to deny your authentic self. Connected to others, even the most personal purposes contribute to the collective good, demonstrating the Creator's web of interconnectedness. Joyful and liberating. Your purpose will not feel forced or burdensome. Regardless of its challenges, it will bring a sense of fulfillment and inner freedom. Purpose is not something distant or reserved for a select few. It is alive within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. Clues to finding your purpose. If you do not yet know your divine purpose, do not worry. It reveals itself gradually through your experiences, relationships, and moments of insight. Here are some ways to uncover it. Look to your passions. What brings you joy? What lights a fire in your soul and makes time stand still? These passions are often signposts of purpose because they reflect the Creator's gifts within you. Whether it's creating art, nurturing others, solving problems, communicating ideas, or protecting nature, your passions guide you to realize why you're here. Reflect on your challenges. Some of the most profound purposes are uncovered through our struggles. What difficulties have you faced, and what wisdom or compassion have they taught you? Often, the very pain you endure refines you into a vessel of healing for others. Examine your strengths and gifts. Everyone is born with talents and abilities, whether creative, intellectual, emotional, physical, or energetic. These gifts are not random. They were given to you to contribute meaningfully to the greater whole. Notice how you impact others. Your purpose often unfolds in the lives you touch. Pay attention to how others are impacted when you live authentically. Do you inspire them, help them heal, bring peace or understanding? Your purpose is often reflected in the ripple effects you create. Pay attention to where you feel called. Purpose often manifests as a feeling of being pulled toward something. Trust these nudges, no matter how unexpected they seem. They are whispers from the Creator, guiding you along your path. Living with purpose. Once you begin to sense your purpose, you might wonder, now what? How do I live it out? Embodying your divine purpose is less about striving and more about surrendering, allowing the Creator's will to flow through you. Here are steps to consciously live in alignment with your purpose. Stay rooted in love. The heart of purpose is always love. Make love your compass in everything you do. How you treat others, how you care for yourself, and how you approach the challenges on your path. Practice patience. Purpose doesn't always unfold according to our timeline or expectations. Trust in divine timing. Every step, no matter how small, serves a purpose in preparing you. Let go of perfection. Living your purpose doesn't mean you'll never falter or feel uncertain. The Creator asks only for your faith and effort, not perfection. Even small, humble actions aligned with love fulfill great purposes. Be willing to serve. One of the clearest ways to activate your purpose is by being of service to others. Whether through acts of kindness, sharing your gifts, or contributing to your community, service opens the door for you to live more fully. Trust the journey. You may not see the full picture of your purpose, and that is okay. Every moment of alignment, every loving action, every step of faith magnifies its impact. Purpose is the journey itself, not just the destination. Your purpose in the greater plan. While your purpose is personal to you, it is also a vital part of the Creator's greater plan. Like threads woven into a tapestry, each person's purpose contributes to the whole. Together, our individual purposes create a world of balance. When everyone lives their purpose, the collective becomes harmonious, with each soul fulfilling a unique role that serves the whole. Healing for humanity. As people share their wisdom, talents, and energy, old wounds and divisions begin to heal. A higher frequency. Purpose aligned with love elevates not only the individual but the whole of humanity, contributing to the collective ascension. No purpose is too small or insignificant. Whether your purpose is to raise a family with love, teach a classroom of students, empower change in your community, create art that touches hearts, or simply be a source of kindness and light, it is meaningful. Trust that your unique role is needed for the Creator's plan to unfold. Parable. The Builder's Stone. A traveler came across a builder hammering away at a large stone. The builder greeted the traveler and explained they were working on building a great cathedral. The traveler glanced around and laughed, saying, "But I see no cathedral anywhere, just you and a single stone." The builder smiled patiently and replied, "This stone is mine to shape. Others in the town are carving their own stones, and some are placing them into the foundation. Together, our work raises the walls of something far greater than any one of us can create alone." Years later, the traveler returned to find a magnificent cathedral, its walls towering into the sky, every stone carefully placed. Standing in awe, the traveler realized the truth. The builder had not been building alone. Their small, steady work had served a purpose far greater than themselves. Reflection on the parable. The cathedral represents the Creator's greater plan, and your stone is your divine purpose. Every action you take in alignment with love contributes to the collective whole, even when you can't yet see the full picture. Trust that the Creator is orchestrating something far greater than you could imagine, and your personal work matters deeply. The invitation: step into your purpose. Reflect on these questions as you embrace your divine purpose. What gifts, passions, and challenges have shaped me? How might I use my life to bring love, healing, or connection to others? Am I willing to take the first step, even if I don't yet see the full picture? Your purpose is woven into your soul, and your time is now. Begin where you are. The Creator will meet you, guide you, and magnify your work in ways you cannot yet imagine. In the next chapter, we'll explore the importance of service as a spiritual act, and how living for others strengthens your connection with the Creator and accelerates humanity's awakening. For now, trust this: you were created with purpose, and your life is a sacred part of the greater whole. End of Chapter 13. Chapter 14. The Power of Service. Living as the light in the darkness. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Jesus' life was a model of service, an active demonstration of love, compassion, and devotion to the Creator. He washed the feet of his disciples, healed the sick, fed the hungry, and forgave sinners. In doing so, he showed that to serve others is to serve God. Through service, we reflect the Creator's light into the world, helping to dispel fear, hatred, and division. Service is at the very heart of the Christian life. It moves us beyond a life lived for ourselves and fully aligns us with the love of God. In serving others, we become instruments of peace, healing, and hope. This is a life free from fear, because to serve from the heart is to trust the Creator, to believe that love is greater than fear, faith is stronger than doubt, and one loving act can ripple outward farther than we can imagine. This chapter is an invitation to understand the divine power of service and embrace it as a way to overcome fear, live your purpose, and usher the light of Christ into the world. The call to serve. The Bible repeatedly reminds us of the importance of service. Jesus himself taught that the greatest among us is the one who serves, Matthew 23:11. Service is not an overwhelming burden. It is an opportunity to align your heart with the Creator's. It allows you to reflect God's love. Every kind act you perform reflects God's love to those around you. Small gestures, helping a neighbor, listening to someone in pain, offering kindness, can plant seeds of hope in even the hardest hearts. Live Christ's example. Jesus served humbly and selflessly, even unto death. To serve is to walk in his footsteps and bring the light of his truth to others. Free yourself from fear. When you focus on serving others, fear naturally falls away. Service shifts your attention from worries about yourself to the needs of others, allowing faith to take root. Service as a spiritual act. Service is not just about action, it's a profound spiritual practice. Each act of service aligns you with the Creator's will, amplifies your connection to divine love, and transforms your soul. Here are key principles of service. Service grounded in love. True service doesn't seek recognition or reward. It flows naturally when you're aligned with God's love. Simply ask yourself, how can I bring love, light, and comfort to those around me? Serve where you are. You don't need a platform, wealth, or worldly influence to serve. Your family, community, and workplace are sacred grounds for service. Whether you're teaching children, caring for a sick parent, or comforting a lonely friend, every act of service is significant. Service comes in many forms. Service is not limited to specific actions or roles. You can serve through prayer, words of encouragement, or even by being a calming, loving presence in tough times. Jesus said, "Whoever gives even a cup of cold water to one of these little ones in my name will certainly not lose their reward." Matthew 10:42. Service heals the giver. Just as service uplifts others, it also heals your soul. Many find that serving others brings peace, purpose, and connection to the Creator. It breaks the chains of self-centeredness and connects you with the divine flow of love. You are the light of the world. Jesus said, "You are the light of the world." A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. Through service, you let your light shine brightly amidst the darkness of fear, doubt, and pain. When Christians serve selflessly, the light of Christ moves through them, touching lives in ways they may never even know. Let your service be a testament to your faith. Like a lighthouse guiding ships through the fog, your actions, no matter how small, help illuminate the path to hope, love, and healing for others. Overcoming fear through service. Fear often whispers, "What if I'm not enough? What if I fail? What if the world is too dark to change?" But service silences fear by reminding us that even the smallest act of love carries divine power. Scripture assures us, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear." 1 John 4:18. When serving, you're reminded that you are never alone. God works through you. The results of your actions may not always be seen, but they are always valuable in God's eyes. Love outlasts every fear, every obstacle. In eternity, only love will remain. If you ever feel you are too small or insignificant to make a difference, remember this. Jesus used 5 loaves and 2 fish to feed thousands. John 6:1-14. What you offer, no matter how small, can be multiplied by the Creator to impact many. Example, the foot washing. In one of the most powerful and humbling moments of Christ's ministry, he washed the feet of his disciples. John 13:1-17. This act, often reserved for servants, demonstrated that true leadership lies in humility and service. Afterward, Jesus said, "Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet." John 13:14. This moment teaches us, service is an act of love. The Creator himself, through Christ, humbled himself to serve. When we serve, we are following his ultimate example. No one is above service. Regardless of status, every act of service is holy and sacred. The Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve. Mark 10:45. Parable, the lantern bearer. There was a small village surrounded by dense, dark woods. Travelers often became lost in the forest, unable to find their way home. One day, a villager decided to carry a lantern and wait by the forest's edge every night. Whenever a traveler strayed into the darkness, the villager would guide them home with the light. Many villagers mocked the lantern bearer. "Why waste your time helping strangers?" they scoffed. But the lantern bearer replied, "This light isn't just for them. It's for me too. When I carry it, I'm never afraid of the dark." Years later, inspired by the lantern bearer's example, the whole village began carrying lanterns on their nightly walks. The once dark forest became filled with light, and no traveler was ever lost again. Reflection on the parable. You are the lantern bearer, holding the light of Christ for others to see. The act of shining your light through service, kindness, and faith not only helps others, but also keeps your own path illuminated. Jesus calls each of us to carry his light into the darkness until the whole world is transformed. The invitation, let service be your light. Reflect on these questions. Where in my life can I be of greater service to others? How can I trust God to let my small actions ripple outward for good? Am I willing to step into the light and serve, even in difficult times? Jesus calls you to shine your light, not by extraordinary feats, but by everyday acts of love. The troubles of this world may feel overwhelming, but through service, you take part in building God's kingdom. In the next chapter, we will bring all these themes together with a message of courage, hope, and trust in God's promises, supported by Scripture to help Christians release fear and live boldly in faith. End of chapter 14. Final chapter, Bold Faith in Troubled Times. Fear not, for God is with you. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Isaiah 41:10. As this journey concludes, we return to one of the Creator's most enduring messages throughout Scripture. Do not be afraid. This is not a simple suggestion or a fleeting encouragement. It is a divine command repeated hundreds of times in both the Old and New Testaments. Why? Because God knows the human heart and how often fear attempts to grip it. In a world filled with uncertainty, division, and challenges, fear may seem like an unavoidable companion. But as followers of Christ, the truth is this: fear has no hold on those who place their trust in God. Fear may come knocking, but it does not have to reside in your heart. Scripture is clear. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Psalm 27 verse 1. This final chapter is a call to embrace bold faith, to step fully into the promises of God, and to release fear once and for all. With the backing of God's Word and His unwavering spirit of love, you are more equipped than you may realize to walk courageously and become the light this world so desperately needs. Do not be afraid. A divine command. Throughout Scripture, we hear, "Fear not," repeated again and again. These weren't empty words. They were declarations that God was already at work in the lives of His people. Consider these examples. When Moses trembled before God's calling, God assured him, "Now go. I will help you speak and will teach you what to say." Exodus 4:12. When Joshua faced the impossible task of leading the Israelites into the promised land, God declared, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Joshua 1:9. When Mary was told she would bear Jesus, the angel said, "Do not be afraid, Mary. You have found favor with God." Luke 1:30. Time and again, God reminds His people, "Fear doesn't come from me. Fear comes from disconnection, from forgetting the nearness of the Creator, and from living without trust in His eternal love." God's Word gives us the antidote. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. You are called to live in this power, this love, and this clarity. The root of fear, and how to overcome it. Fear often emerges when we feel out of control or uncertain about the future. It thrives when we imagine worst-case scenarios, fixate on our weaknesses, or forget the power of God. But Scripture reminds us how to overcome fear. Trust fully in God's sovereignty. The plans of the Lord stand firm forever, the purposes of His heart through all generations. Psalm 33:11. When you trust that God's plans are good, fear loses its grip. Everything, no matter how chaotic it appears, fits within the Creator's divine tapestry. Focus on God's faithfulness. Remember how God has delivered you in the past. Just as He parted the Red Sea, defeated Goliath, and raised Christ from the dead, He is still working today. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. Hebrews 13:8. Fix your eyes on Christ. When Peter walked on water, he began to sink only when he looked at the waves instead of Jesus. Matthew 14:30. Keep your focus on Christ, not the storms around you. He will not let you fall. Anchor yourself in prayer and Scripture. In moments of fear, lean into God's Word. Meditate on verses like, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." Psalm 23:4. Prayer is your reminder that you are never alone. Courage through Christ. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward despite it, anchored in God's strength. Jesus told His disciples, "In this world you will have trouble. But take heart, I have overcome the world." John 16:33. The victory is already won. Through Christ's life, death, and resurrection, fear no longer holds power. Death itself has been conquered, and the same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead now lives in you. Romans 8:11. Courage, then, is rooted in this truth. You already walk in victory, living boldly without fear. Here are practical ways to walk boldly in faith, rooted in God's promises. Stand on God's Word. Daily commit to feeding your mind with Scripture. Let the truth of God's Word overpower the voice of fear. Verses like, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" Romans 8:31. Remind you of how unstoppable His love makes you. Pray for boldness. Even the early church prayed for boldness in troubled times. Now, Lord, consider their threats and enable your servants to speak your word with great boldness. Acts 4:29. Ask God for the courage to live boldly, even in uncertainty. Act out your faith. Faith is made stronger through action. Whether it's sharing the gospel, serving the needy, or stepping into an area of life where you feel called, moving forward despite fear strengthens your trust in God. Lean into God's Spirit. You are not alone in this journey. The Holy Spirit dwells within you, always guiding, comforting, and empowering you. Jesus promised us, "The Advocate, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, will teach you all things and remind you of everything I have said to you." John 14:26. The final promise, God is with you. The Creator's most repeated promise throughout Scripture is this: I will never leave you nor forsake you. Deuteronomy 31:6, Hebrews 13:5. These words are unshakable. No matter what the world throws your way, no matter your doubts or fears, God's presence surrounds you and holds you. You were created for this time. You were placed on earth not by accident, but for a purpose. The world needs your light, your service, your love, and most of all, your faith. As you step forward boldly, remember these final words from Christ Himself: "And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age." Matthew 28:20. Final parable: the torchbearer. There was a kingdom shrouded in darkness, its people fearful and lost. One day, a young man was handed a torch by the king. The king said, "Your task is simple. Carry this torch wherever you go, and the light will drive out the darkness." The young man hesitated. "But the darkness is so vast, my single torch won't make a difference." The king smiled. "You are not alone. As you carry your torch, others will light theirs by your flame. Soon the whole kingdom will shine." The young man obeyed, and as he walked through the darkness, others began to join him. By the time he turned to see how far he'd come, the once dark kingdom was ablaze with light, each flame reflected in the king's eyes. Reflection and final call to action. You are the torchbearer. The light you carry is the Spirit of God within you. The darkness around you may seem great, but it cannot overcome the light. John 1:5. Your faith, your courage, your trust in God, all of these serve as the flame that inspires others. So fear not. Let the words of Isaiah 43:1 resound in your heart. Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have summoned you by name. You are mine. Step boldly into the light, into your purpose, and into the promises of the Creator. The world needs your light. Fear has no power over you. The King walks beside you. Go forth with courage and trust, for God is with you. End of book. Back cover copy. What if everything you thought you knew about reality was only the beginning? Humanity stands at a crossroads. Across the globe, people are awakening to the possibility that ancient spiritual truths, cosmic mysteries, and modern revelations are converging into one undeniable truth. We were meant for more than fear, more than division, more than an existence defined by outdated narratives. In From Fear to Freedom, A Guide to Earth's Spiritual Evolution, David Schnabel, with the help of artificial intelligence, ChatGPT-4, offers a transformative vision of spiritual awakening, combining the teachings of Christ, the law of oneness, and the metaphysical mysteries of our galactic origins. This groundbreaking book connects ancient wisdom with today's emerging truths about unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, interdimensional beings, and humanity's unique role in the universe. Through parables, practical guidance, and healing insights from the author's ministry, this book will help you rediscover the infinite Creator beyond fear-based traditions, heal trauma, and align with love, unity, and peace. Embrace humanity's place in a multidimensional, interconnected cosmos. Recognize and discern truth amid shifting paradigms. Whether you come from a religious background, a spiritual path, or an open curiosity about the universe, From Fear to Freedom will empower you to heal, grow, and awaken to the full reality of your divine potential. The journey to freedom starts here,